Good afternoon, welcome back to the 120th. Today we are testing some free stuff. The wonderful people at Gear have sent me a light meter. Gear are a distributor for various Chinese brands, and they have sent me this. You'll notice I haven't said the name yet because I don't know how to say it. I emailed Gear and said, how do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce this word? And they emailed me back very quickly and said exactly as you'd expect. I did some research, I had a little check, and I can now officially confirm that the STRH combination in the middle of a word has never been used before in the English language. So let's take a punt on AstrHori. So I'm going to put a little half beat after Astra and leave the H kind of silent. Too much thought potentially gone into this, but there we are. So with that in mind, this is an AstrHori AH-M1. It is a small camera top light meter. I also emailed Gear and asked for some more information about how this light meter works. I was looking for the kind of viewing angle and the innards of it, so I could tell you a bit more about it. I emailed, I said, can you share any more information on exactly how this light meter works? And the wonderful people at Gear emailed me the instruction manual in Chinese. So essentially I know nothing about this other than it's a light meter and it looks like that. It's designed to go on top of your camera and it is a reflected light meter, therefore it is measuring the light that arrives at your camera, whatever is reflected off your subject. And as such it's likely to have a very broad metering angle. There's a few of these little camera top light meters now available on the market. But this AstrHori AH-M1 does something that no other light meters do. So hang around to the end of the video to find out about that. The first thing that we need to do is take it out and see if it actually works as a light meter. So as this is designed, I mean it is teeny tiny and kind of difficult to handle. It is designed to sit in a cold shoe / hot shoe. And that has caused me some problems, if I'm honest, because I need a camera with a cold shoe. And I don't have any. I wanted to take out one of my cameras that I love shooting, Bronica S2A, my little beauty. No cold shoe, no hot shoe, no shoes at all, poor thing. Bronica ETRS, also shoeless. Rolleiflex SLX, really enjoying shooting with this camera at the moment. Does have a shoe, not even just a cold shoe, but this is a hot shoe. You can actually use that to fire a flash, which is just amazing. Does have a shoe, but also has shutter speed priority auto exposure. So testing a light meter on this is kind of a bit disingenuous, so I'm going to leave that one behind. I was looking for a camera with shoes, with cold shoes or hot shoes, and I dug out my old Sony Omega Rapid, which is a wonderful camera. I love this. Shoes coming out your ears. However, it doesn't work, so that's not a great one. I have settled on this as an option. If I take my Bronica ETRS and attach a speed grip, then that has a cold shoe on it. So that's the solution, Bronica ETRS plus speed grip. I take the winding handle off, I'll do that in a minute. So let's head out and give it a go, see if it works as a light meter. I'll see you out there. Right then, we're down at the wonderful St Harold Church again. Becoming a firm favourite of mine for these videos. I've got a roll of Kodak Gold 200 loaded, and I have the AstrHori light meter on the cold shoe of the Bronica ETRS speed grip. So let's take some photos. We'll try and mix some stuff up, see how it deals with the light. Very low afternoon winter sun, so I was about to say it should be a good test of a light meter, but if any light meter is going to fail, it'll be in these conditions. So let's just see what happens. Just shoot out over the estuary to start with. 3.2. Let's close that down to 5.6. It's pretty handy this actually for this speed grip. If you look, it's right where my thumb is. So I just push the button to activate the light meter. So let's see what this says. That's 6.3 2000. So F13 for 500. Let's do an F11. Here we go. Right then, let's point it towards the church. So here it's saying an 80th f13, which actually seems pretty accurate. So let's take it down to f4, and it's given me 500. So let's just do that. Right, there was a nice shot from the road that I saw on the way up. So let's wander down and get that. Let's get a shot across these hills quickly. Light meter says 5,000th f4. Oh, so let's bring that down to something manageable. 500th f13. So let's give it f11 and a 500th. Let's head down these steps, and then we'll shoot back up at the church that way. So where's that church behind me? Look at that. It's like Mont Saint-Michel. I'll try and find a bit of alright, this looks pretty good. Let's put you down there. Activate the light meter is saying, yeah, similar, 640. Let's try this. Let's see what we can get of the bridge over there. Now this is going to cause it some grief, I'd imagine, because we are shooting back towards the sun. Yeah, and this is saying f11, basically f20. Let's take it to f16. Infinity focus in that direction. I think that that's probably wrong. I think that the problem we've got here is that as you turn towards the sun, it picks up way too much of it. Let's try another one here. So looking at the sun behind me, firing that up. F11 at 500. Let's try it. Alright, let's try something a bit easier for it. Let's try kind of a texture shot of this bush. Now I've obviously got a 75mm lens on here, so yeah, it's a bit confused. It's basically saying, oh, where is it? Let's point it that way. 7.1 500. Point you down while I focus. Shot at the front here in complete shade. Light meter says f4 500. Alright, a couple of frames left. Let's go back out the other side. Let's do a shot here. Yeah, f4 500 again, basically. 3, 2, 1. And that is a roll of Kodak Gold 200 done and dusted. So let's take it back, develop it, and see what we got. Alright, so let us assess the performance of the light meter. I would say that it did an alright job. It would do pretty much what I expected it to do. I have since read the instructions again, and it does actually tell you in there the metering field. And it is roughly 30 degrees, which is quite narrow actually. I was quite surprised. What's 30 degrees? So that's 45, so you're about there. That's something like that. I was expecting it to be much wider, and in fact its performance does suggest that it is a bit wider than that. There was obviously a few shots in there that we took up at the church that weren't ideally exposed. I also had the light meter out over the holidays and was using it to take photos of kids and the family and seeing how it performed under various lighting situations. And it definitely is not particularly happy with light behind the subject, but that's kind of what you would expect from a light meter like this. It's giving you, within that 30 degree field, relatively sort of central within your image, it's giving you just an average exposure. Exactly as you would expect, like from your phone or something. If you're filming somebody and you go and stand them next to a window, it exposes for the window because that's the brightest light. So it darkens everything down and you get somebody silhouetted. And that's exactly what we get from this. And I had this one photo that I took of Grandpa, poor Grandpa, that was his moment in the limelight. He was so excited that he was going to be on my YouTube channel. I believe that AstrHori owe him an apology, but not unexpected. It's exactly what you would expect a light meter of this nature to do. What this light meter does do is gives you a quick reference, and if you learn to work with it and learn to adapt what you're doing based on what it's telling you, not necessarily following the exact numbers, then it can be extremely useful. Now, I promised you at the beginning of this video that this AstrHori AH-M1 was different. This has a trick up its sleeve, and I've deliberately left this to the end before I test this out. What the AstrHori AH-M1 does that no other light meters do is that it is constructed from powder coated brass, specifically so that it can be used on older cameras and it can kind of wear with the cameras. So what it's designed to do is for the paint to wear off on the edges and allow the brass underneath to show through. Obviously, if you leave it in your camera bag long enough and you kind of generally treat it as you would any piece of kit, you'll gradually get that wear. But I want to speed up the process, and they do in fact give you instructions for speeding up the process on their website to allow you to create that weathered look. So what I'm going to do for you now is I'm going to take this brand new, shiny, nicely constructed light meter and I'm going to destroy it a little bit. You can thank me later. Let's get some sandpaper. Okay, I've been out to the garage, I have some sandpaper. This is some 220 grit sandpaper. I think this might be, it's quite well used 220, so it's probably not quite a 220 anymore. I think probably 240 or 300 might be a better choice for this. There's something feels wrong that I'm about to sand my brand new light meter. It doesn't feel right, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm doing it for you guys. All right, here we go. Single pass. Oh, it looks nice actually. Look at that. Let's see if we can get some more light on this. I think this actually, can you see how it's just kind of just lifted the bit of paint off the end there. So let's just do a single swipe on each edge. Let's do a little bit down here, a little bit on the edges of the wheel. Oh yeah. I like this. I think this is a genius idea from AstrHori. And obviously, look at that. It is starting to. It's really quite a nice effect. It just has kind of a little sort of burnished. I really like that. Now, obviously, there's a reason that I'm doing this at the very end of the video, because this is a one-shot deal. Once you have sanded your light meter, there's no going back. Kind of addictive. I need to stop. Stop sanding. Just a little bit more. This is why I wouldn't make a very good hairdresser. And this is okay. Enough sanding of my light meter. I quite like that. Nice, and it's got just a kind of a vintage feel to it. Look at that, look at this, yeah? A little exposed brass on the corners here. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, okay, I need to stop. Cool though, what a nice little feature. I don't have any cameras that just look immaculately digital, you know, that's not what we're doing here. Let's take the Kony Omega Rapid, which needs a frickin' clean, and it needs to be fixed as well so that it actually works as a camera. And I think that does, you know, that kind of is more in keeping with the style. You know, it looks less out of place. Long story short, bearing in mind there are loads of these on the market, there are loads of different options for these kind of cold shoe mounted digital light meters. I actually think that this is a good choice. It's a good option. It's good, it's solidly built. You can sandpaper it to make it look cooler, and that is actually encouraged by AstrHori, the makers. They've created a light meter that should be sanded. So all in all, good light meter, recommend it. If you're in the market for one of those camera top light meters, then go check it out. They have some discounts on at the moment. I will put links down below to Pergear, to AstrHori, to the product pages, and to the discounts that you can get. So do feel free to click on those links. That's it for today. Next up, we have Lomography Berlin. I had some trouble with it. That next time. See you then.